We will thrive.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be with everybody. And you've had an incredible day. Thank you for putting this together. And we talk about success and generosity. They go hand in hand. Right before David, you heard from my co-author of 3 Feet from Gold, Greg. And so high energy from him and high energy from David. You talk about it's your turn and build your door. So now I'm going to say, let's talk all about you. I can tell you my story, but I want you to talk about your story. You are the CEO of your own life. And what's your relationship with money? At the end of the day, you're either a master or a slave to your money. A master of it or a slave. And too many of us are slaves to our money. So I want you to ask yourself, what did your parents talk about money? Did they say we can't afford it? It doesn't grow on trees. We need to save for a rainy day. Pinch your pennies. So all of those statements as we were growing up were money negative, money negative, money negative. As such, we built in this mindset of scarcity. So when you hear Greg say it's your turn, or you hear David say build a door, you go, yeah, easy for them to say, because you have this pre-programmed fear of money, fear of never having enough. And when you become successful, you're afraid you're going to lose it. So I want to help you change that, because once you can acknowledge and recognize where that comes from, you can start releasing it and realize that we live in a world of abundance. It's never been easier to start a business. It's never been easier to be successful. Last couple of months, maybe a question, but this is the time when we have trauma, the most successful businesses solve a problem or serve a need. I think we have a few of those now, but you have the decision to make. Every one of us is where we are today because of the choices we made before today. If you want something different in life, you just need to start making different choices and finding those mentors, those people that can help you. David says, build the door. I talk about sometimes you need to close the door for other doors of opportunity to open. There was a time in my life, we built the Rich Dad organization. We wrote 15 books together, and it was a huge success. 10 years into the relationship, I was partners with Robert Kiyosaki, and he wanted to do something that I didn't agree with. So I said, okay, I need to leave. I need to stand in my own power and stand in my own personal mission, not knowing what was in front of me. But had I not closed that door, I wouldn't have gotten a call from President Bush and served on the Financial Literacy Commission with President Bush and President Obama. Then I wouldn't have gotten the phone call a couple of months later from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I read Think and Grow Rich when I was 19, and if you've not read it, you need to. What an incredible honor to be able to step in and reinvigorate the teachings of Napoleon Hill. But I want to talk to you about you and mindset about money. Think about where you learned about money. We learn about it at home. We've heard the phrase, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Well, that's because we learn at home. One of my personal missions is to change that. I want to make sure children around the world learn about money in school. If we truly want to level the playing field so that every child has equal opportunity, we will educate them about money in school. That way they will have equal opportunity. But I want to talk about the 4 ways that we make money, because it's a pretty simple analysis. This is the second book I wrote in the Rich Dad series called Cash Flow Quadrant. And I have a little support here. It's called the Cash Flow Quadrant. The 4 ways we make money. On the left side, employee, self-employed. This is what teaches us in school. We're taught how to be an employee or a self-employed individual or superstar, doctor, lawyer, right? And this is us exchanging our time for money. Don't you feel tired with me just saying that? Because there's so many hours, there's just so many hours in the day and so many days in the week. So the amount of money you can make over here is limited. I teach people how to move to the right side of the quadrant. Business owners and investors. These are economic engines. They're called assets. My favorite word on earth, assets. They generate income for you. The ability to make income is infinite. Once you have an asset working for you, it's like your employee generating income for you while you sleep. Other people's money, other people's systems, other people's resources are working for you. And so you ask yourself, where are you making your money? I still make money from all 4 quadrants. I'm an employee of my own corporations. I'm a speaker. I own a lot of businesses, and my husband and I have a lot of investments. We make far more money on the right side of the quadrant than we do on the left. So ask yourself, do you need to think about creating, buying, or building income-producing assets? If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all right, we released this in 1997. It's the first of 15 books we together. It will talk to you about the importance of assets. Every wealthy individual in the world, no matter where they live, no matter what language they speak, have one thing in common. They have income-producing assets. And so if you take nothing else from today, look at where you are financially and figure out how you can start moving to the right side of the quadrant or adding additional assets to the right side of the quadrant. Because people who have assets have weathered the storm the last few months much easier than those who ended up unemployed because of the pandemic. And so what are you going to do to secure your financial future for yourself and your family, one step at a time? Because it is about your mindset. What is it that you have done correctly, and what do you need to change? What door in your life do you need to close so other doors will open? I had an incredible opportunity last fall to come and speak in Copenhagen. And as a result, I've had, as she mentioned, this week I'm on the European Business Magazine. They interviewed me about the future of business, and particularly for women in business. But I love working with entrepreneurs because that triggers creativity. And never before have we needed creativity as much as we do now. So we've made mistakes. A lot of people take those mistakes as definitions of who they are. They go, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. No. If something happened in your life, it's a learning opportunity. It's not a failure. A failure, a mistake, is an occurrence. It's not a definition. And many of us have had something happen that has stopped us in our tracks. 7.5 years ago, I lost my youngest son. I'm sure you've had something that stopped you as well. It took me years. I was living my life in neutral, numb. And I almost decided to retire, but I got a lot of pushback from family and friends and decided, I'm still here for a reason, and you are too. If you had something, a death, a divorce, a financial setback, you have a right to mourn, but you're still here for a reason. And the experience that you have coming through that gives you incredible opportunity to help others facing the same issue. You're already an expert. Nobody's had your successes. Nobody's had your learning opportunities. But now you can become an authority and you can reach out and help others. And by creating a business and becoming successful, you have the right and the opportunity to help others even more, giving that mindset of scarcity a boot and welcoming a mindset of abundance. My definition of success has nothing to do with the zeros in my bank account. It has to do with how I feel about myself when I look in the mirror and not my reflection. Are you adding value to someone's life? I grew up, my father used to ask me every night, Sharon, have you added value to someone's life today? He's been gone for 14 years, but I still ask myself that every night. And then this time of need, it's so important for each of us to give value and to add value to other people's lives and come together. A lot of people are saying, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I hate that. Don't wait for the light at the end of the tunnel. Become the beacon of light in your life and the lives of others. And that's exactly what they're doing with this event today. They're the beacons of light for all of us. They're bringing us together to share with you. So take the light that they're providing you and ignite the light of others around you. Because if we come together, we can solve anything. And it's our opportunity to continue giving back. So ask yourself, what do you need to do to make tomorrow better than today? What are you going to take from what you've been hearing today to improve your life? You know, Greg talked about the book 3 Feet from Gold that we did together. And in it, we introduced a personal success equation. And it goes like this: your passion plus your talent. What are you passionate about? And what are you good at? Your education, your experience. But most of us stop there because we think we have to do things on our own. But the true power of success comes from the times A that's next, which is power of association. Who do you have on your team? Look at the team that came together to create and produce this event today. That power of association. Business is a team sport. And you know what? When you have a down day, the people around you are going to keep you up and keep you moving. Then times A, taking action. How many times have you known what you should do? You just don't do it. I get busted with that every time I say it. Passion plus talent times association times taking action. And then the last element is an F, plus F for faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in what you're doing. Faith that is needed and necessary. Faith that you will succeed. And when I'm mentoring people, I go through that formula with them. And invariably, the two areas they need the most help with is that power of association. Now, you're being introduced to a ton of people today that are giving of their time to support you and to share with you. There's probably somebody that you're going to say, gosh, I wish I could work with them. Take action. And the other area that so many people need help is in having confidence and faith in themselves, especially with what we've been suffering with. Usually that F is fear. And one of the books that I did with Napoleon Hill Foundation is called Outwitting the Devil. And the title is kind of scary. But Napoleon Hill wrote this in 1938 after he released Think and Grow Rich in 1937, intending it to be the sequel. But the title scared his wife to death. And so she worked with the Presbyterian College, and so she forbid it to be published and was hidden away for 73 years. And the foundation, when they got their hands on it, called me and said, we'd like for you to look at it. And I think there was a greater power at work because we released it right after the 2009 financial collapse. But you know what? It's totally written for what's happening now. Because fear does one of two things. It motivates us or it paralyzes us. And most of us are paralyzed by that fear. And we can have all the people all day long motivating us and energizing us. But we need to transfer that motivation into inspiration. Because inspiration comes from within. Just take one thing you hear today and apply it to your life. Because when we're fearful, we want to hide away, we want to pull the covers over our head. And then in the last couple of months, we've had the fear of death, the fear of poverty, the fear of isolation, the trifecta of fear. Yes, it's real. The question is, are you going to have that fear paralyze you? Or are you going to say, okay, I'm going to take that fear and turn it into energy and focus. Focus on what I can create for myself. This has been an international reset. So you have the opportunity to redesign your life any way you want. And you now have the resources, the people that are here today to share with you, to help you along the way. The stats are in. People who have mentors are more successful than those who do not. Because a mentor is different between a coach and a mentor. A coach is important. They kind of hold you to a predetermined path. And they're going to kick you in the you know what if you falter. But a mentor, I'm actually a lousy coach, by the way, but I am a great mentor. A mentor is going to steer you around pitfalls and speed your way to success, introducing you to new powers of association. They're also going to help you find ways to build your confidence. So as we're coming out of this, and today we're going to get all kinds of great ideas, and you get all excited. We talk about setting up this BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Well, what happens is it's like a New Year's resolution. We get all excited about it, but 2 days or 3 days later, the adrenaline and the energy is like, oh, yeah, I'll never make it. So instead of that, still have the BHAG, but then let's set 2 or 3 small goals that get you to where you want to go. I call them little wins. One thing that will get you to where the next step. And as you do that, you're going to feel yourself elevating. Your self-confidence is going to grow. But make sure you have the right people around you, the right people on your team. Now, I'm coming to you today from our ranch in Arizona. My business in Phoenix is thriving because I have the right people running it. My ranch is thriving. It's completely sold out today, but I have a team that runs that. So I was able to come in and talk to you today without feeling like something wasn't going to get done. It's important of having the right people around you, the right power of association. Have people on your team who are strong where you are weak. Have a mentor that's going to be there to help open doors for you and keep you focused on the ultimate goal. But what's most important is as you create that success, remember the people who aren't there yet and be gracious and generous. And that's what today is all about. They're talking about improving the world and providing information that you need to take yourself to the next level. And so, number one, you can show your gratitude by taking action in your life. Number two, you can show your gratitude by sharing what you've learned today with your network and your people. Number three, you can show your gratitude by giving generously in the opportunities they're providing to you. Because, you know, there's a statement, a 10-word, 2-letter word statement. If it is to be, it is up to me. And so you have every right to be successful. You have every right to achieve the success that's just waiting for you. But you have to take action. You have to make the choice to move forward. Take your passion, your talent, the power of association, taking the right action, and having faith and confidence in yourself. And we are here to support you. Feel free to reach out to me at info@SharonLechter.com. I'm here to support you in any way I can. Visit SharonLechter.com, and I'm Sharon Lechter everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, author Sharon Lechter, my business page. Instagram as well, LinkedIn. But it's just been my honor to participate in today. And you know what? It is, it's an incredible feat. I just did a virtual summit a couple of weeks ago. So my hat's off to you and to Peter, Christina, for what you're creating today. And I love it. They're keeping everybody to time. And so I appreciate everybody's attention, and I invite you to check out my ranch, cherrycreeklodge.com. Have to come see Arizona, ride a few horses, go fishing. And it's been my honor to participate. And I thank you all for your time and attention. And as Les Brown would say, you got to be hungry. And as David said, build a door. And as Greg said, it's your turn. I'm going to say you are the CEO of your own life. So if it is to be, you better make that decision and get moving. One thing, just take one thing that you learned today. But start thinking about assets, my favorite word on earth. So thank you so much.